A loaded show on the docket for today's Philadelphia Eagles now, and here's what's coming up. The Birds reportedly interested in Ndamukong Suh to bolster up that backup defensive line. We have the latest buzz on Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert pretty much saying today at the NovaCare complex that he is set to return from that forearm fracture against the Dallas Cowboys. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, it is Dallas week, and if you can't stand the Cowboys like me, I want all of us to rally together right now, get the good vibes going after that bad loss against San Francisco, and hit that thumbs up icon like the video. With that, let's talk some Eagles right now because there's plenty to get into. All right, let's rock. I'm Chase Senior. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Appreciate all of you for spending your day with us. And today's show is presented by Roan. You can get 20% off using the code Chat Sports. Holiday season is here, Christmas around the corner. And if you're looking to spice up your wardrobe for yourself or gift somebody something really nice, Roan is your answer. I'm wearing their commuter polo right now, and their commuter collection has everything that you really need. Dress shirts, polos, pants, and shorts, but also high-quality men's clothing, breathable and stretchable fabric. No need to go to the dry cleaner because the more that you wear these products, the more that the wrinkles release with their awesome wrinkle release technology. And anybody who has BO out there, you got to solve that. Roan will help you solve that with their anti-odor technology. So one more time, 20% off using the code ChatSports at checkout. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. We begin with Ndamukong Suh. Philadelphia signing Shaq Leonard earlier this week, rumored to be in on Suh, as well as Zach Ertz. Howie Roseman always looking to find ways to bolster up his football unit. Philadelphia reportedly interested in a reunion with Suh, who wants to join a playoff team and is expected to join potentially a playoff team soon. The 2010s All-Decade team member and multi-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro still has a little bit of gas left in the tank, according to him. And the five-time Pro Bowler expected to look to latch on with a contender. Last year with Philadelphia, he played in 8 regular season games down the stretch. There are 5 games remaining on the Eagles' schedule, so a little bit later as compared to 2022. Eagles viewed as a likely destination because they're a little bit thin, have been lackluster, and their production is kind of dipped with that backup defensive line unit. Eagles also opening up a roster spot here. Safety Justin Evans is staying on IR. We talked about that last week as a very great possibility. Nick Sirianni confirming that here on this Wednesday. So now Philadelphia has a roster spot to potentially fulfill. And could it be Ndamukong Suh? This Eagles defense has been a massive, massive problem. And I know that Brian Johnson has come under fire because of Philadelphia's offensive inconsistencies, but in my eyes, it's the Eagles defense that is the biggest issue and the thing that could hold this team back from making it back to the Super Bowl. And if they don't figure things out, Sean Desai, Nick Sirianni, this defensive staff, as well as the players on this Eagles defensive side of the ball, they're going to get bounced early. These rankings going into this game against the Dallas Cowboys are putrid, they're awful, abysmal, ugly, whatever word you want to use for it, file it under that category. 24th in points allowed, 29th in points allowed per drive, 28th in first downs allowed, 32nd ranked third down defense, not much better in the red zone, 29th ranked red zone defensive unit. They're not forcing a lot of giveaways like they were last year, as Philadelphia ranks 26th in takeaways. They are 12th in sacks, which is great and solid, not last year's pace when they had 70 in the regular season, but they're 22nd in sack percentage. So they're not getting after the quarterback consistently. And that was a huge issue against San Francisco. They were able to get to Brock Purdy on San Francisco's first 2 drives. After that, Purdy had a bunch of clean pockets, and because of that, the Niners were able to shred this Eagles defense. It's unacceptable here. Philadelphia's defense has forced 33 third downs in the last 2 games. So they're doing a good job of forcing teams into third downs, meaning they're pretty solid on first and second down. But of those 33 third downs forced, Philadelphia has allowed a first down on 23 of those opportunities. And coming up next, Sunday Night Football, you might be playing for the NFC East and potentially the number 1 seed when you factor in Dallas as well as San Francisco and the Detroit Lions. Dallas and their offense, first in points per drive, and second in third down offense. So Philadelphia better right the ship, and they better right the ship very quickly, because if they don't, the Cowboys are going to do what the 49ers were able to do. And they're going to be able to do what the Buffalo Bills did. And it's a dangerous way to play if Philadelphia just continues to play from behind, because this team is very talented, but the rest of the league is too talented for you to rely on coming back from large deficits every single week, especially against a Cowboys team that's been on this momentous run, and they're clicking on all cylinders on the offensive side of the football. Mike McCarthy, by the way, head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, undergoing an appendectomy. Surgery today on Wednesday, is expected to be back on the sideline on Sunday. You look at this graph next up, and this is a good illustration that shows you that the Eagles have done a good job of forcing teams into third downs. They are playing well and performing well on first and second down. But once they get the third downs, that's when this defense is getting fried like some fried chicken. And that's why they have to get it figured out going into this Dallas game. Now, I think the good news is when you look at this graph right here, is that if the Eagles can make the necessary adjustments and they can start to perform better on third downs, then some of the issues that we're talking about can get righted. But this is the Eagles on third down struggling against the pass. I think that this Philadelphia defense has also struggled mightily against the run as well. Going in to that Chiefs game that was coming out of the bye week for Philadelphia, they had the number 1 ranked rushing defense in the National Football League. But the last 3 games, they have not been good. They gave up and surrendered 5.5 yards per carry against Kansas City. I'm honestly surprised that the Chiefs went away from the run in that second half, trying to throw it too much with Patrick Mahomes. But in that first half, Isaiah Pacheco was running right through this Philadelphia Eagles defense like paper mache. And then against the Buffalo Bills, 4.3 yards per carry. Josh Allen did throw it a lot, but the Bills having success with their ground game. And then Christian McCaffrey ran wild. San Francisco could not be stopped through the air or on the ground. 5.2 yards per carry. Given the players that this Eagles team has on this defensive line, I'm surprised to see these numbers, but this also goes back to the Eagles struggling at that linebacker position because some of the linebackers not making the plays that they have to make. Going back to Ndamukong Suh, how can he help? He's a solid pass rusher still, or at least was last year, and he can be a pretty good plugger against the run. In the regular season last year with Philadelphia, 101 pass rushing snaps. He had 9 pressures, 7 hurries, and 1 sack. Against the run, not a bad player as a rotational backup. So could he help you there? I think that he could help you just a little bit and maybe take the place of a Marlon Tuipulotu, who even though he's younger, might not be the same player as Ndamukong Suh. So we're about to talk Zach Ertz here. We're getting to him next here on the show. I want you to pick a player for Howie Roseman to sign. Do you think defensive line is more of an issue or backup tight end? I frankly think, given the last 3 weeks, defensive line a little bit of a more pertinent issue, but you let me know down in the comment section. Also, a programming alert. Producer Chip and myself, we're going live on Eagles Now today, Wednesday. The live show kicks off 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 for those of you tuned in on the West Coast. We're going to preview this Dallas Cowboys game. We're going to look at the Eagles playoff picture. The best Eagles analysis right here on YouTube can be found right here. I want to see all of the real ones. As for the latest on Zach Ertz, couple of teams who all have something in common are rumored to be interested in Ertz. Philadelphia Eagles, even though Dallas Goedert, who we're about to talk about, scheduled to come back against Dallas. Baltimore Ravens, who lost Mark Andrews for the rest of the year. Buffalo Bills, I kind of like what they have going on at tight end, but a backup could be a good option. the Kansas City Chiefs because they have no quality pass-catching options really outside of Travis Kelce. And then the San Francisco 49ers, also a possibility. Ertz grew up in NorCal. He went to Stanford, has some ties there. And the 49ers just placed one of their backup tight ends, Ross Dwelley, on IR with an ankle injury. So Ertz could make more sense with those other teams and San Francisco because he might just be able to play a little bit more. So my overall thoughts on bringing back Ertz. He is 10 catches away from tying Harold Carmichael for the franchise record for the most receptions. He set a couple of other records, and he's close to setting a few others. So because of that, it's a pretty cool storyline here when you talk about this reunion. But if I'm Zach Ertz, and I still think that I can play in this league, do I want to be a backup tight end to Dallas Goedert, one, and then really be the fifth or sixth option on this Eagles offense when you factor in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and you talk about Dallas Goedert entering the equation once again, and you look at DeAndre Swift and him catching passes out of the backfield, Julio Jones, Olamide Zaccheaus, where, from Ertz's standpoint, would he fit into the equation with Philadelphia? Now, the plus is that it's another weapon for Jalen Hurts. And Ertz has always done a great job of beating man and zone coverage, getting really good leverage. He's a great route runner, really good body control, which allows him to open up some space for a throwing lane for Jalen Hurts. So it makes sense from a scheme standpoint. He did overlap with Nick Sirianni in 2021, played about half the season before he was dealt to the Arizona Cardinals. But I think other teams have more pressing needs and they could use Ertz a little bit more. So he's probably looking at this like, I think I have good football left. A reunion with Philadelphia to chase the Super Bowl, my second with the Birds, would be awesome. But I also have opportunities to play more with different teams, like the Chiefs, especially the Ravens, who are without Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and Baltimore, very, very good team. They're currently like 8-1 odds to win the Super Bowl this year. Now to Dallas Goedert as we stick with the tight end position. Jeff McClain, Philadelphia Inquirer, saying this morning that on a positive note, Eagles should get tight end Dallas Goedert, forearm fracture, back this week. And the expectation from what I'm hearing is that linebacker Zach Cunningham with the hamstring should be ready to play against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday as well. So Shaq Leonard, Zach Cunningham could be the linebacker rotation. It's a lot better than what Philadelphia had on the field last week in Christian Ellis and Nicholas Morrow. The impact of Dallas Goedert. When he went out, I told you it was a big deal. The impact that he's able to have on the pass game as well as the run game. He can be that security blanket for Jalen Hurts. He can make hard plays seem easy. You make an easy throw to him, he moves the chains. He can turn a short pass into a long gain because of his physicality in running with the football. And Hurts' completion percentage with Goedert as compared to without Goedert has gone down dramatically. Against Miami, against Washington, against Dallas, the 3 games for Jalen Hurts with Goedert before he suffered that injury. Against Miami, completed 74% of his passes. Washington, 76%. Against Dallas, just under 74%. And then in the 3 games without Dallas Goedert, what has happened to Jalen Hurts' completion percentage? It has plummeted. Against Kansas City, 63.5. Against Buffalo, 58 even. And against the 49ers, 57.7%. So Dallas Goedert coming back is a big deal as a blocker, as a pass catcher, another option, another weapon. And hopefully him being back on the field can allow this Eagles team to be a little bit more consistent. And that's for the entire duration of the football game, especially consistency inside the red zone. Philadelphia having to settle for 2 field goals on their first 2 drives when they marched right down the field against the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL changed the outcome and the momentum of the game. That allowed San Francisco to stay in it, make a little bit of a comeback. They scored 1 touchdown. They took the lead. They didn't look back from there, scoring 42 points the rest of the way and scoring touchdowns on 6 consecutive drives. And with these red zone struggles and the Jekyll and Hyde nature of this overall offense and in that red area, Dallas Goedert can help there. So did the 49ers loss and the ugly aspect and nature of it diminish your confidence in Philadelphia's ability to beat the Dallas Cowboys? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Speak up in the comments section, and we hope to see you a little bit later on Eagles Now live, everything getting underway, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. for those of you kicking it with us on the West Coast. Go Birds as always. We'll see you in a bit, and make sure you subscribe.